Hi there, it's Jess with LuShhh Locks once again. Today I'm doing my second request video. Last week I posted on my Facebook page any requests that you might have about how to style your hair or any different hairstyles you might see on celebrities, anybody, runway models, it doesn't really matter. Just keep the requests coming in, I love them. This week Lindsay had sent a request to me. She wanted to know how to curl your hair. She says that generally when she curls her hair, she uses her straightener just to get the ends. But when you use a straightener, unless it's a really, really hot straightener, it's really hard to get the hair to curl all the way up into the top. It usually just gets the ends. And so I suggest using a curling iron. That's what she wanted to learn. She wanted to learn how to curl her hair with a curling iron. So basically what you're going to want to have is, this is not for, just people that have hair extensions. It's for everyone. Everyone likes to curl their hair. It just is a lot better, I think, when you have a nice full head of luscious locks in your head. Anyways, so I've pre-curled a lot of my hair extensions and I have most of them in already, and I left out a few tracks just to show you how you can curl them. One of the other benefits of having the hair extensions, other than it being really full, is that you can style the back of your hair right in front of you, if that makes any sense. A lot of times girls have a really hard time making sure that the back of their hair looks really nice. And when you have, your back tracks of your extensions, you can curl them right in front of your face. So they are amazingly curled, and then you just, you can put them in and they look awesome. And you just have to do a little blending, but for the most part, you have control of what your curls look like in the back of your head, which is amazing. So in order to show you how to do that, I've done this already with all the rest of my hair extensions in the back. I pre-curled them and then I just clip them in. But if you do have just your own natural hair and you're trying to curl it with a curling iron today, you're going to want to follow the next step that I'll show you in just a few minutes. But if you do have your hair extensions, what you'll want to do is, I suggest curling them in small pieces. I mean, it obviously makes more sense when you have less hair wrapped around the barrel. The more hair can get, affected by the heat, and to give that nice ringlet pretty curl. I generally use about a 1-inch barrel. You can use a 1/2 inch if you have shorter hair, but when you have really long hair, if you have curling irons that are, let's see here, I have one that's really big. Hold on. If you use something that is, oh my gosh, that is really, really large versus something this size, then it'll just kind of curl the ends and your hair is going to fall out really, really fast. So I generally like to get a smaller barrel, about a 1 or maybe a 1/2 inch curling iron, so the curls they'll be tight at first, but then they fall out and they look really nice and pretty and they stay bouncy for a little bit longer. So take your hair extensions, and I'd say in about 1-inch sections, I mean, if you don't have that much time, I mean, it obviously takes time to curl your entire head in 1-inch sections, but set aside some time and really work on it, and do it when you go out and want to look nice and fancy and make your hair really pretty. Just for here and there, you can also just run it through, quickly, but if you have time, do it in small sections. It does a lot better. And a lot of people, what they do when they curl their hair, they take their iron and they run it all the way to the end of their hair, and then they start to wrap it up. Now what this does, I mean, it's still effective, but what happens sometimes is, have you ever had the ends of your hair that get squished whenever you try and pull it all the way to the end and they get that weird crimp in it? That's what happens when you do it that way, by pulling it all the way out. And not to mention, it's straightening the hair when it's doing the opposite of what you're trying to do. The goal is to curl it. So I usually take my hair, whether it's on my head or whether it's off, like I'm doing in the extensions with, and I pull it up and then I flip that hair around and I just gently work it around the barrel until I get all of the hair twisted around the iron. And that way the curl starts at the top of the hair instead of curling it up from the bottom. And then when you take it out, a lot of people want to pull it out. Just turn the hair upside down and just kind of gently like let loose and let it fall out of the curling iron. And you're going to have an amazing curl, and it starts at the top instead of just being curled at the bottom, so it curls all the way down. Amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and, sorry, I got my hair in my face. I'm going to go ahead and curl this back piece. Bear with me just a second. Okay, so once you have all of that curled, then you can go ahead and put in your extensions like you normally would. Section the hair. So hold on just a second. And then you'll have, you know, the back of your hair will be curled, and it will be really, really nice and tight curls at the very top. Instead of, you know, if you have your own natural hair, it's really hard to see in the back. But, you know, if you don't have hair extensions, it's still possible. Don't ever give up. Just keep practicing. And don't forget to start curling at the top and wrapping it around your barrel instead of pulling it all the way down and then wrapping it up. And then this might give you a better idea how to curl it, you know, from your head. In the front, especially with your hair extensions or your regular hair, a lot of people tend to curl, you know, this side, they curl back in this direction, but people are so used to curling in that same direction on this side, and so their curls will all go in one direction, when generally you want to curl this side back this direction and this side back this way, so that your bangs flow into your hair, or your own hair is opposite, so you don't look one-sided with your curls. So with my hair extensions, with my front pieces, I usually put them in and then I curl them, because, you know, obviously I can see them. It's not as big of a deal to curl them right in front of you as the back pieces are. So I'm gonna put them in real quick. So with hair extensions, like I've talked before, I have really short hair in the front, and so I have my front pieces layered, and so that when I curl it all, like I was saying before, it curls the bangs back into it, so it gives the appearance that your hair is all really nice and long. And of course I kind of keep these out as bangs, but in general, you know, you can really camouflage how short your hair is with your hair extensions, and the front pieces are really important to have. And then to curl those, you do the same thing. I grab, I grab my own hair, and I grab the actual hair extension itself, and I want to curl them together so it blends really, really nice. And I do it the exact same way as I mentioned before. You're going to want to start to do the curl at the top. Curl it over, and you can also take the hair and pull it on the other side so that's easier for you to start to wrap it around the barrel. And just keep working it around until it all gets fed through the curling iron. Like so. And then don't forget just to let it fall out instead of pulling it. And by, you know, letting it fall, if you just take your nozzle and go open like so, it releases it slowly, so it falls out really nice. And then you see it's all curled all the way from the top and down. And my hair naturally, it curls really nice into it, so that you could never really tell that I have hair extensions in. And see the sides, how pretty? You definitely would have a hard time doing that with a straightener. But if you have a nice 1-inch barrel, and definitely don't forget, I keep stressing this, but only because it's really important, start curling at the top of your hair and work it around so that eventually it all feeds throughout the curling iron. And then I do have another method. This sometimes might be a little easier for some people to feed it through. You might have seen those curling irons that actually are missing the, I don't know what you call it, the push thing. And you see how they wrap their hair around the barrel? That works too. You know, if you have a hard time trying to feed it through the curling iron, you could possibly, you know, do that. Take your hair, and I'm going to do it in smaller sections if I'm going to do it that way. And you can start out by, you know, most people want to curl this direction, but like I said, if you curl this way, my curls are going to go this direction. So on the other side, you've got to take your barrel and you've got to curl, I guess if you're, you know, curling on the right side, you curl it back to the right. So take your barrel in the opposite direction, flip it kind of like upside down, if you will. Curl the top of it, and then take your hair and you can just start to wrap it around the curling iron. But I do stress, be careful, you don't want to burn your fingers. And just holding it against that barrel once you've got the, you know, the top curled will help you instead of trying to feed it all the way through. And then just go ahead and do the droppy thing and drop it all out, and then see how nice it curls. So bouncy. And then you can do the same for the other side. You know, I mean, you can wrap the whole entire thing around it, but in order to get it started, I generally start to do the one simple curl at the top with the curling iron, and then I take the rest of my hair and I just wrap it around the end of that barrel in order to get it to curl the ends instead of feeding it through. Both ways are really, really good and really, really effective. It's however you want to do it. Just don't forget, you know, to, like I said, let it fall out. You know, start curling definitely at the top, and then you're going to want to, you know, do a little bit of blending and make sure your hair all flows back into it, and curling your own hair is a really big deal as well. Like your own natural bangs, you want to make sure they all go back in the right direction and make sure they all flow backwards. And then I'm going to do a little bit of blending. Hold on just a second. Alright, and then once you have all of your teasing done and you've curled your hair into it and you've messed with the front, you can put some hairspray on it if you want. I try not to put too much hairspray on my hair extensions, but you know, you have to have some hold with it. So I'll put a little bit of flexible hold hairspray on them. And just to keep them nice and bouncy. But with, you know, with the hair extensions, generally they hold curls for a very long time. They've got a really good quality hair that I have going. And if you have your own natural hair, the way you're curling it, it's gonna last longer. That's what happens whenever you use, you know, too big of an iron, or you just pull it all the way out and roll it up. It doesn't last so long, it falls really quickly. But with these curls, as you can see, they're nice and tight and really high. So when they fall, they just get a little looser. But for the most part, they stay really, really nice and pretty for hours. And then the only other thing that I do suggest, besides getting the correct size and using the correct method, is to get a good curling iron. You can generally go to a nice beauty supply store and they carry curling irons that have a golden barrel. Golden barrel curling irons are really, really good. It's not the name of a brand, but generally if you find a curling iron with a gold barrel, from my experience, they've always been really, really good and really, really effective. Any other questions or any other requests, please send them my way. You can send them from the website, or if you are a fan of my Facebook page or my personal page, please send me pictures, videos, questions, emails, however you want to do it. Have a good day. I hope you enjoyed it, Lindsay. Bye.